Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Xander Rice. Welcome back to another video of Spooky Month. Yes, that's right folks, this month is Spooky Month, which means there's going to be frightening flicks and spooky clips posted all month long on this channel. And you're watching one right now. So what is today's video about? Today's video is about talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Freddy Krueger himself, you already know him, Robert Englund, Wes Craven, Heather Langenkamp. It's all there, the recipe for a great franchise. We're going to talk about it today, and more importantly, we're going to rank them, at least according to my opinions, from my least favorite to my favorite. So, excuse me, I sat down and I binged all 9? Was it 9 of them? All 9 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I included Freddy vs. Jason in there because, I mean, some of it takes place on Elm Street and Freddy Krueger's in it, so what the heck. So I threw that one in there as well. So folks, here we go. We're gonna hop straight into it. I do some of these videos where I like to talk about movies. I was even thinking about starting a film review channel. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. Where I just talk about movies, because this channel is bloated with all sorts of kinds of content. Stuff like this, wrestling content, other movie stuff. I don't know, just a little bit of everything here on the Z Rice Films channel. So hit subscribe, and if you like this video, of course. So folks, we're going to start with my least favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street bunch, and that would be the remake, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, Jackie Earle Haley, hopefully I'm saying that name right, does a great job as Freddy. And when I first saw this movie, I had no idea how critically hated it was by most people. It was only after I kind of looked it up online and stuff that I realized, man, my goodness, this movie is hated by mostly everybody. And I can see why. There's some portions where I can see why, okay? I'm not going to go too spoilery in this video, so if you haven't seen these movies, then you're in luck. But I might spoil some things because these movies are 20, 30, 40 years old. So, hey, you know, if you haven't seen it by now, you should probably not watch this video. Anyways, folks, I kind of contradicted myself there. What the heck? But, so okay, so the remake. Horror remakes in general, get a very bad rep for a number of reasons. If it's a remake of any movie, it's gonna get a bad rep. It doesn't matter if it's a horror movie or not. If it's a remake, it's gonna be hated by someone out there. If you make a movie that's exactly like the original, they're gonna call it unoriginal and pointless. If you make it too weird or too different, they're gonna call it too weird, too different, doesn't stay true to the original. Take Rob Zombie's Halloween, for example. It's vastly different from the original Halloween, and that's why people don't like it, because it's too weird, it's too different, it's too out there, and some people just don't like Rob Zombie. But I love it. I think that's what remakes are for. They're supposed to be different, they're supposed to be new and innovative. And then take the remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn in it. It's pretty much literally by the book, shot for shot remake. Seems kind of pointless. And that one gets hated for that one too. So, no matter if it's a remake or not, if it's a remake, it's gonna get hated. So, I think that's the case with this one. I will say that Jackie's performance is great. I think he's a very solid Freddy Krueger. His makeup is a little weird makeup. It's like digital makeup. I don't know. He kind of looks like Voldemort a little bit. But, so, there's just a lot to unpack. So, this film follows Nancy, of course, the new Nancy, who's played by Rooney Mara, and she does a pretty good job. A little flat, but hey, you know, she wasn't given too much room to develop. So, I don't know, it's a very interesting film. I found the last half to be much more exciting. That's what really kicks into full gear. The first half, it got me a little bored, not gonna lie. It took me a couple days to get through it. So, but yeah, this one ranks last on my list, number 9, the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 8, I wrote down here, is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Now, aside from a little cameo by Mr. Johnny Depp. Sorry, spoilers. There isn't too many memorable things in this movie, I would say. It is the movie where Freddy dies, quote unquote. Well, he technically, I mean, he dies. He dies in it. You know, he dies. Okay. Again, it's just another one. It's kind of a slog. It's very boring. Freddy is ultra silly in this one, which is a running theme once you get later into the Nightmare films. Freddy just gets sillier and sillier with his kills, his puns, his jokes, everything. And you know, if you're a fan of that, that's all good. I do happen to like silly Freddy. You know, he's a silly guy in some of them. But the original, and actually the remake as well, they portray Freddy as a much darker entity of this person who diddled little children and stuff like that. And that's kind of where he started as. And he's, I don't know, he spiraled out of control. Literally, he turns into a superhero in one movie, Super Freddy, which I kind of like that scene. But anyways, yeah, Freddy's Dead is number 8. Speaking of Super Freddy, number 7 is Nightmare 5, The Dream Child. We follow Alice from the previous film, and she is sort of pregnant with a creepy Freddy baby, and Freddy is trying to take over her child and warp the child's mind, and that's the story pretty much, from what I can remember. I just watched this a couple weeks ago, and I'm already kind of like, what happened in that one? But I do have to say the special effects are pretty great. There's a scene where Alice's boyfriend is on a motorcycle, and he just kind of gets crushed by this Freddy thing. I don't know. Freddy gets to him, and yeah, it's pretty violent. But anyways, it's pretty good. It's neither good nor bad. It's just a little, well, silly for lack of a better term. Next up we have, where am I? I'm so sorry, folks. Oh, Nightmare 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now, I actually like this one. You got the scene with Freddy in the pool. You got the scene where Freddy comes out of the wall through the guy. There's just a lot going on in this one as well. There's a lot going on in all of these. I feel like I keep saying that, I keep repeating myself, but it's true. Nightmare movies are stuffed to the brim with special effects, and I think that's why people connect with them so much. You got a creepy but lovable killer in Freddy Krueger, and you got all these main protagonists who more or less are gonna end up probably dead by the end, but you know they're gonna die in some crazy zany way, unlike Michael Myers, you know, hack and slash. Done, there you go. He did get a little more inventive towards the later films, but that's neither here or there. We're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. And yeah, I like it slightly better than The Dream Child, I would say. Next up, what do we got here? Nightmare 4, The Dream Master. Now, I really like this one. This is the debut of Alice, and it's also kind of a direct continuation of Dream Warriors, Nightmare 3, and it features some of the Dream Warrior kids. I love Kincaid. He's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Dream Warrior. I actually got to meet him. Here's a picture of me and him. And yeah, he's a really cool guy. He signed a poster for me. Something happens to him in this movie, but yeah, I would say this is a great sequel, and a lot of inventive stuff in this one as well. It's missing Mrs. Heather, Miss Nancy, but you know, that's alright. Next up we have, what did I put here for number 4? Freddy vs. Jason. Now this is a fantastic film. A lot of people don't like this one as well because it's more of an action / martial arts film than it is a horror film, but there are, you know, horror elements in it, of course. The ending is a absolute bloodbath on the pier with Freddy and Jason just hacking each other up, and there's blood everywhere, and there's squibs, and it's just a whole lot of horror, gory goodness. And the story is, you know, it's alright. It makes a little bit of sense, I would say, but basically Freddy and Jason are kind of connected to each other, and They're gonna fight, and that's the story. They're gonna fight. It doesn't really matter all the other stuff. People are paying their ticket to see Freddy and Jason fight, and unlike Batman vs Superman, where you see them fight for like 10 minutes at the very end of a 3-hour-long movie, Freddy and Jason come face to face, and well, I guess a couple times throughout the film, but then especially in the last act, and they have an all-out war. Freddy is doing crazy flippy moves, and Jason is just taking it, and he's just getting hit. I'd say it's a very solid film. Freddy vs. Jason sits at number 4. Number 3, however, is we're getting to the good stuff. These last 3 films are good. Top tier horror films. It's New Nightmare, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now, I was stunned by how much I loved this movie. I was thinking about putting it even higher on my list, maybe in a number 2. I was even thinking a number 1 position because of how much I love it. But the other ones have a little bit more importance and a little bit more, they connect with me a little bit more, I would say. So this one is number 3, even though it could be higher. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind by the time the camera stops rolling and I'm going to be like, dang it, I should have put that higher. But anyways, it sits at number 3 right now. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. The story is that Wes Craven is writing a new Nightmare on Elm Street sequel. And that's right, this film kind of takes place in the real world. Wes Craven is playing Wes Craven. Heather is playing Nancy. John Saxon is playing Nancy's dad, and so on and so forth. Robert Englund is playing Robert Englund, even though he also plays Freddy in this movie, but not really. He's Freddy, but like he's a different Freddy. You know, he's not like the movie Freddy. He's a new version, and he looks different. The makeup is all different. He's actually, I think, a lot creepier in this one than the previous sequels that came out before this. He wouldn't be this creepy again until the remake, I would say. But I absolutely love this movie. It really ramps up again in the final act. It's a slow burn of a film, I would say. Yes, there's like a killing in the first 5 minutes, but still, it's a slow burn. It's still adding up to the insane finale inside of Freddy's hellhole dungeon of death that Heather has to try to make it out of with her little son. So, a fantastic movie. My goodness. Go check that one out if you haven't. It kind of reminded me of Psycho 2 in the way I was like, okay, it's Psycho 2. How good can it be? And then expectations are blown out of the water. This was Freddy's number 7. And when you get to number 7 in a series, it's not looking too good for you. Let me just say that. How many movies are there in the Terminator series? And by the time we get to Dark Fate, there's no going back. There's no going back. Maybe I'll make a Terminator review video like this. Let me know. But number 2, we have the OG Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's just say number 2 and my number 1 pick, which is Dream Warriors. They're about the same. They're about the same for me. I love both of them pretty equally. The OG, of course, has everything that you know and love. Johnny Depp, the what was her name? Alice? No, that's the other one. Nancy's friend. She's just tumbling up in the sky. They did that whole tilt-a-whirl break into Electric Boogaloo room. But yeah, this film it's a classic. It's the one that started it all, and I'll just talk about Dream Warriors for a little bit. Dream Warriors is it's kind of like the family favorite here in our Rice family household. Everyone loves Dream Warriors. And it's kind of hard not to. There's stop motion animation. It takes place inside of a mental ward. Lawrence Fishburne is in it. There's so much to love, so much to like. Has probably the best Freddy kill of all time. The TV smash. Welcome to Prime Time, you know. But yeah. Number 2 is the OG. Number 1 is Dream Warriors. I might flip them around. They're both the same in my book in terms of greatness and importance and impact and how much I really love them. Well, folks, seems to me that we're at the end of this video. I told you before that we have a lot of other movie talk videos such as this one. I'll link a little description in the playlist in the description. My goodness, I'm really losing it over here. But let me know if I should make a separate channel where I talk about even more movies, and let me know if if you're enjoying Spooky Month so far, because we're a couple videos in now and I'm having a great old time. And folks, I'll see you tomorrow for next Spooky Month video. My name is Xander Rice. I have this hat on I was supposed to wear in the video, but I'll just wear it in the closing segments. Goodbye.